When a submarine implodes, it is a catastrophic event with devastating consequences. The pressure inside a submarine can become so powerful that the hull becomes unable to keep it out and the vessel crumples inward. This is what happened to the Titanic 2023 when it imploded. The destruction of the Titanic 2023 was a disaster of epic proportions. Much of the superstructure, propulsion, power, and other vital components were violently destroyed in the implosion. As a result, the vessel submerged into the cold depths of the open sea. The implosion of the Titanic 2023 was due to a malfunction in the sub's pressure containment system. This system was designed to prevent the catastrophic consequences of a pressure differential between the interior of the sub and the ocean depths. However, it failed. The crew of the Titanic 2023 were killed in the implosion. The intensity of the pressure and shockwave were too much even for the incredibly rugged pressure suits worn by the crew. The fate of the sub and its several thousand occupants was sealed in that single instant. The implosion left shocked survivors, shipwrecked survivors, and a massive debris field that littered the seafloor. It was like a horrific scene out of a Hollywood movie. The vessel that was meant to be one of the greatest in the world was reduced to scrap in a single moment. Much of the titanium alloy that formed the outer hull of the Titanic 2023 could not withstand the immense pressure and imploded, sending large portions of the craft hurtling down into the ocean depths. This material would never be seen again. The shockwave from the Titanic 2023's implosion was felt miles away. Undersea sensors detected it in alerted military stations around the globe. Survivors, if there were any, had to be rescued as soon as possible. Unfortunately, the rescue was too late for the crew of the Titanic 2023. The implosion had caused such extreme damage that it was impossible to locate or identify the remains of any of the crew members. The Titanic 2023's implosion was an absolutely tragic event, as is the case with any emergency. It caused intense emotional distress to the loved ones of the crew members and beyond. It also threw up a massive environmental challenge. The implosion of the Titanic 2023 sent a huge amount of debris down to the seabed, including heavy metals, hazardous chemicals, and toxins, polluting the waters and killing off many of the local marine life. The cleanup of the site was painstaking work. Teams of experts had to use special equipment to collect the debris fanned out by the implosion. It was a dangerous task as they had to avoid any unexploded ordnance. Once the debris was collected, it was then analyzed in order to determine the cause of the implosion and if there was any latent risk of it happening again. Unfortunately, the exact cause of the Titanic 2023's implosion was never determined. It remains a mystery to this day, but it is clear that the failure of the pressure containment system played a major role. In the wake of the Titanic 2023 disaster, deep-sea exploration and submarine technology took huge leaps forward in order to ensure that something like this could never happen again. Submarines became safer and more resilient to extreme underwater pressures, while the principles of deep-sea exploration and oceanography were completely redefined. To this day, the implosion of the Titanic 2023 remains a key event in the history of submarines and ocean exploration. It serves as a reminder of the dangers of the deep sea and a warning to all those who plan to venture into it. Technical and safety protocols are far more stringent now, thanks to the tragedy that befell the Titanic 2023. No one will ever forget the immense destruction and loss of life caused by its implosion. As for the Titanic 2023 itself, it has vanished from the ocean floor. Its lifeless hull, a reminder of man's boldness and frailty in the face of nature, lies somewhere beneath miles and miles of deep, dark, icy waters. Time has not been kind to the Titanic 2023's implosion. The enormity of its destruction and the scale of the loss of life it caused have faded from public memory, but its story will remain with us always. The short-lived saga of the Titanic 2023 will never be forgotten. Its implosion was an important event not only in history, but also in the development of submarine and deep-sea exploration technology. This tragedy has served as a wake-up call to the world. It taught us that what lies beneath the ocean's surface is powerful and potentially deadly, and that we must always be aware of the risks. The expression, "never again," is perfectly applicable when it comes to the Titanic 2023. We must never forget its implosion and the lessons it taught us, and use these lessons to ensure that something like this never happens again. We have a responsibility to the crew, their families, and those affected by the Titanic 2023's implosion to ensure that we take whatever steps necessary to keep our deep-sea and submarine operations safe and secure. Although the Titanic 2023's implosion was an unthinkable tragedy, it has also given us a better understanding of the deep sea and its potential. We now have better technologies and protocols to prevent disasters like this from happening again. It is important that we remember the Titanic 2023 and its ultimate fate as a cautionary tale. We must do everything in our power to ensure that something like this never happens again.